Ear. What's good, everybody? It's Sean Peter Blunt guy, and we back again for some more One Piece discussions. And today we will be doing a reaction video. I got a reaction video. I found this video from Ohara, who I did a video before, or I did like a live stream reacting to one of his videos before. It was I think it was called the best One Piece video you will, or the best One Piece theory video you will ever watch. And he has another one called the best One Piece theory video that you will ever watch, but better. And if you want to watch it, the link will be in the description box. The link to his video, so you can watch it, straight through without my, take. Like if you watch it after I do it, and then you just want to watch it straight through without interruptions, or if you want to go and watch that video and then come back to this video, like it's not gonna be live by that time. But you just to hear my take, then and do that. Now, and I haven't seen any of the video at all whatsoever, so I don't really know what it's about. I don't know what it's like. I think it's something about emo. I think I did see emo in the thumbnail of the video, so it might be something about emo. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that like button. Show your boy some love. Hit that like button. If you're not already following me, get your boy subscribe to your boy. You know what I'm saying? Hit that bell for notifications. Once I hit 50 subscribers, I will be giving people. You see, I have two more of those straw hat, the Straw Hat Pirates Jolly Roger flags. I have two more right here. I have two more, and I will be doing a giveaway. I will be giving these two away to 2 subscribers, but that'll be after I reach that 50 subscriber mark. So please help me reach that 50 subscriber mark. I will appreciate it, and I wanna do more giveaways every time I reach a new milestone. A new milestone that I set. So yeah, that's that. But anyway, let's get into the video. It's a pretty long video, so I'm gonna try not to stop it too often, because it's already like for almost 45-minute video, so I don't want to stop it too much. Well, yeah, so let's get into that. All right. Go check out Ohara as well. Ohara is a much bigger channel, and he also breaks a lot of news. I think he gets the SBS translated. I think he gets those translated, and the library. I think he has a site called Library of Ohara where it's like you can find all the Vivre cards, all the SBSs, all the information that Oda gives to us himself. So yeah. But anyway, without further ado, let's get in to this theory video.
Roger wanted to turn the world on its head, you get a spacecraft as well as a 3-eyed skull. The reoccurring theme of the frozen giants tells us the secret of immortality behind the enormous frozen straw hat in Orijua. Androm Island foreshadows what happened during the Void Century, including Usopp's Snow Queen here, that might show Luffy defeating the hidden ruler of the world as well as the strongest devil fruit there is. This is only the tip of the iceberg of the mega theory I'm going to share with you today, hunting clues to reveal who Imu, the mysterious mastermind behind the story of One Piece, truly is.
Okay, come on, Ohara, give me the theories. Let me know who Imu is. Who Imu is.
I'm excited to say that I think this theory is even better than the last one I put out that a few of you seem to have liked. However, these two actually don't contradict each other at all. Much rather, what absolutely blew my mind when I found out is that both smoothly connect as part of one epic mega theory. So just think of this as
like when
the best
theories
One Piece
connect.
theory ever part 2. Now, of course, I didn't come up with all of this. The real clue hunter is once again the Japanese god of One Piece theories, Yuderon, who kindly enough gave me green light to share more of his awesome content.
I'm gonna go find that
I'm gonna be summarizing over 10 of Yuderon's videos in this single one here. We're gonna cover all sorts of evidence here, so please remember that neither me nor Yuderon claim that every single detail here is 100% fact. Just make up your own mind about everything you're about to hear.
Hold on, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that among the community. A lot of people, a lot of fans, they take these theories and they treat them as like 100% fact. And I like making theories. Like I'm a big One Piece theory, I guess, lover. I love doing theories. That's why if you find a good theory, send that to me. You can send it to my Instagram at BlumpGod, or if you're on Facebook and you're in my One Piece group, yeah, please share. You know what I'm saying? The One Piece group will be in the description box, as well as the One Piece Discord, which is another place you can share your theories. If you have any theories, share. Come to the Discord. Just join the Discord. Share your theories, or if you find videos of other theories, you know, you could share them in my Instagram. You could share them on my Twitter at BlumpGod. You could also share them on the Discord. You could share them on the Facebook group, or you can even share them on my Facebook page at BlumpGod as well. Everything in the description box. But yeah, again, if you know, it's cool to admire these theories, but y'all also have to take them as a grain of salt. You know, if it doesn't come from Oda himself, then it's not official. So again, you know, you enjoy the theories, but don't take them and use them as sources to support your argument, you know, like they're official sources. But let's get into it.
Here, and who knows, maybe you'll come to a completely different conclusion. You might want to get yourself a nice big cup of coffee for this one. Part 1. Foreshadowing. Factually, there is close to nothing we know about Im from the story. Just as you, I was completely shocked and honestly confused that Oda seemingly just threw the main antagonist into the story 900 chapters in without mentioning her even one single time. All we really know is that this person sits on the empty throne meant to be held by no one, secretly ruling over the entire world, including the celestial dragons and even the Gorosei themselves. So when I first stumbled across this 10+ video series on Im, I was genuinely confused and skeptical where you would even get all that material on her character from. But video by video and piece by piece, I could feel my mind being blown over and over and over again. Because as I realized, there has been foreshadowing for Im throughout the story as early as Syrup Village even. Which in retrospect makes a lot of sense because Oda has planned his ending right from the start. Now, there are countless possible routes we could start the theory from, but I think to have a solid foundation to build on, the best one is starting with all the foreshadowing and symbolism for Im. These are the 2 katakana characters to spell Im, and there are 2 very common theories in Japan when it comes to the inspiration for her character. The central wordplay here is 16, Imu, and when you take the 2 letters together, they form the kanji character for Buddha. Now, based on this, some people have speculated that this is a reference to France, which in Japanese is spelled as Buddha country, for whatever reason, I guess. So this might very well be a nod to the French Revolution, and especially to the rule of Louis XIV, Louis the 16th. And indeed, as I explained in my analysis of Trafalgar D. Waterloo Law, the French Revolution and the events surrounding it are without any doubt inspiration for parts of the plot, and might very well hint at the past or future of Im's reign. The other alternative is going back to the Buddha itself. Here, the number 16 is considered as a holy number that in One Piece is referenced, for instance, in Luffy ringing the bell at Marineford 16 times, or Doflamingo's strongest attack. In general, there are two Buddha-like characters in One Piece. There is Sengoku, who literally ate the Buddha fruit, and the second Buddha in the story, any guesses, is no one else than good old Tonoyasu from Wano, who is seen as a Buddha by the people of Ebisu Town. Now, how do these two characters connect? Both of them are, of course, former military leaders, and both of them share the symbol of the maple leaf. Sengoku wearing a shirt with them on it, and Yasu explicitly being said to have loved maple landscapes. And so the first major clue in our chase after Im, I guarantee, will already surprise you. It's none other than the world's most badass grandma, Dr. Kureha, whose name literally means maple leaves. As you'll remember from my intro.
Alright, it's official. Reaction over. Dr. Kureha is, in fact, Im Sama. Bye. Appreciate everybody. Let me
with
stop.
Oda writes One Piece according to the principle two sides of the same coin, mirroring, twisting, and inverting many elements in the story in two places. So based on that idea, many characters Oda has introduced at certain points in the story serve as foreshadowing to Im's true identity. And so we'll also be looking at people like Enel, Pudding, Doflamingo, and even Robin, especially Robin. Now, if Skypiea is the key for Joy Boy and the Ancient Kingdom, as I explained in part 1, Drum Island might be the most important one when it comes to Im and the secrets surrounding her. And Dr. Kureha is the one that has the closest connection here. Her name not only connects her to Im's name through the Buddha, but the wordplay for the chapter in which Im makes her big appearance, 908, is Kureha. Her disciple Chopper is a reindeer, which in Japanese is called Junroku, 16. And the volume in which we get to know about the two is volume 16 as well. Kureha, coincidentally, is also the one who first introduces us to the idea of inherited will and the will of D, as well as revealing Roger's true name to be
Goldie Roger.
Indeed.
Here, we also first learn about Blackbeard and about Marijaw, where we literally see the very first reverie taking place before meeting Im during the second one. Chopper also plays an important role here, of course. The deer and the maple leaf, by the way, are a strong playing card in the Japanese game Hanafuda. Now, the big theme of Drum Island is, of course, medicine. Chopper, of course, also wants to create a panacea. This is because all doctors in the country have been monopolized by Wapol to control the population before being chased away by Blackbeard. Now, however, Kureha sits in his empty castle at the top of a high mountain overlooking the rest of the people. Does this remind you of anything? As you've just figured out, this castle and Pangaea Castle on top of the Red Line are two sides of the same coin. Here, Im-sama is the one who sits in the empty throne. And so the idea here is that Kureha represents certain traits of Im as well, something to do with medicine. Dressrosa, which also served as a miniature of the world at large, just like Drum Island, has a ruler that monopolizes healing abilities. Doflamingo's capture of Princess Moncherie. Dofi and Wapol, a former celestial dragon and an aspiring one. Oh, and by the way, an important theme throughout this video is that Dofi and his crew all represent certain traits of Im as well in some way or form. Now, Drum Island is also inspired by Canada. The small town here, for example, is modeled.
I got a question for you guys in the chat. Do you guys think Doflamingo knows the secrets of Im? Because he does know that secret. Like we never, I don't think it's ever been established what secret Doflamingo, or what secrets that Doflamingo knows about the world government. But I would think that, like, maybe it could be that Straw Hat. Maybe it could be Im. Like, he knows that there is an actual leader. I mean, you think about it, he was a celestial dragon. So, you know, he is kind of in the know of these things, even though he was a kid. So the fact that he was a kid, you know, there might be some stuff he might not have been aware of. But we know that he got a hold of a lot of information and he holds a lot of information above the world government's head. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat or in the comments.
After the Canadian city Banff is how I think you pronounce that. Canada being of course connected to maple and also maple syrup. And sweets will also be very relevant later on, as you'll see. For Dofi's crew, the connection here is sugar. Not only does she wear a hood and a crown similar to Emu, but her abilities allow her to erase memories, just as happened during the Void Century. And both Kureha and Sugar are women way older than they look. Sugar being a 22-year-old in the body of a kid, and Kureha being a striking 140, but still going strong. See where I'm going with this? If these two characters are connected to Emu, that would mean that she is also a woman with an unusually long lifespan. How long? How about eternal lifelong? But first, ad break! Okay, real quick, I want to talk about Skillshare, the sponsor of today's video. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning of Skillshare Premium. One thing that always confused me was the fact that the 20 kings, just like the 20 doctors on Drum Island by the way, chose to abandon their kingdoms and move to Marijaw. I'm sure they all had all the luxuries that they could ever wish for there already, and they even had to give up their power over their nations to new royal families. What exactly is it then that Emu could have offered a king that they didn't already have? Exactly. I think one of the reasons that Emu was staring so intently at Vivi was due to the fact that she could not comprehend how her ancestors could have passed on the opportunity to gain immortality. I mean, just look at Cobra, the king of Alabasta, and how radically he has aged over the course of just 2 years. Compare that with the Gorosei, who appear to haven't aged a day since we saw them 22 years ago on Ohara. The contrast here almost feels deliberate. The first time the Gorosei are introduced is chapter 233. The wordplay here is Jin Miraisai, a Buddhist term meaning as much as until the crack of doom, or till the end of time. Emu's first chapter, 906, is Ku Onorisu, the ideal of eternity. To me, the reality seems to be that in the world of One Piece, immortality has already been achieved. Don't you also find it suspicious, for instance, that the world nobles who love hoarding powerful
So I wonder if the immortality, because as far as we know, the only link that we have to immortality is Law's devil fruit, right? So if that's indeed the case, did they achieve this? And you think about it, because he's talking about doctors and stuff, like especially in on Drum Island. So if that's the case, like, did Eam get that mortality through Law's devil fruit? Have they kept using, like, giving Law's devil fruit to people to sacrifice themselves for these kings that he said possibly got immortality? I'm curious if he's going to touch on Law's devil fruit. Maybe there's a different way to achieve immortality that we don't know of that doesn't require, because I feel as though Law's devil fruit just wouldn't be efficient, because then you let's say if you have 30 people you want to give immortality, that means you have to find about 30 people to give Law's, like, the what's the OP no Mi to, right? You have to sacrifice them and then find the OP no Mi, give it to somebody else, make them use it, sacrifice them, find it's like a long process. There has to be a more streamlined process to give, like, to give people immortality, especially for like Eam and people and the other kings, if he offered them immortality, like what it sounds like Ohara might be going towards. But yeah, let's see.
Fruits and abilities had no problem with Law joining the warlords, that they apparently didn't care for his ability to perform the immortality surgery.
I was just
I don't
talking.
know about you, but I feel like they would definitely
If
try
I
to
would've just waited,
monopolize
we would've
and
been good.
reuse this ability for themselves. Instead, the person desperate for this ability is none other than Dofi, a former celestial dragon who got taken to Earth by his father and denied re-entry by the otherworld nobles. If he was living a life of promised immortality up on Morijoa, wouldn't it make all the sense in the world that he would resent his father for taking that away, and that he would want his birthright back, to live forever?
俺が聖地マリージョア内部にある重大な国宝のことを知っているからだ。
So, is the national treasure of Marijoa literally an extended lifespan for its citizens? The other national treasure we know of is that on Fishman Island, coincidentally located directly under the castle at the bottom of the sea. Two sides of the same coin. The box on Fishman Island contained a drug that took away lifespan for more power. So, wouldn't it make sense if the national treasure of Marijoa granted more lifespan in exchange for literally less power of the nobles? Giving up control and submitting to one ruler. The parallels between Drum Island, Fishman Island, and Marijoa don't end here though. Two characters that mirror each other as well are Nami and Shirahoshi. You might remember that as well from my interview with Yuderon. They have the same look, including the same over-proportional boobs. Their mothers share very similar personalities and deaths. Both were oppressed by fishmen and both locked up for their abilities. Sanji even calls Nami a mermaid princess in chapter 69. And on Drum Island, we see Luffy climbing the walls of the castle on the mountain, just like Fisher Tiger did, to save Nami's life. So could it be that he will do the same thing again for Shirahoshi, fulfilling his and Joy Boy's promise to bring her and the fishmen up to the surface? The other big clue is the suits of the Celestial Dragons. Yes, they do look like spacesuits, and I do want to talk about that in just a second as well. What I want to focus on right now, however, is the bubble that they wear whenever leaving their residencies. Is it really only a symbol of not wanting to breathe the same air as the peasants down below? I mean, they don't seem that uneducated to actually believe that. Well, except Charlos maybe. But Mjosgard is not insulted when he loses his helmet on Fishman Island. He looks genuinely scared to me. So what if the Celestial Dragons actually carry around air from Arisia with them, not because they need to rub it into everyone's face that they're not part of the Gucci gang, but because the air gives them immortality. Mjosgard even has a beard when we meet him again, suggesting that he aged somewhat during his time with the fishmen. He even says that Otohime made him human. And another thing we know makes Fishman Island special is that it is illuminated despite being at the bottom of the ocean by the roots of the mother tree Eve.
ここは地上の光をそのまま海底に伝える幼樹イブという巨大な木の根が届いておる。
And so the idea that the top of Eve goes through the red line and up into Marijoa is not exactly new. We also know that Eve is related to the trees on Sabaody that create these bubbles that can be used to coat ships. Funnily enough, this is done by none other than Rayleigh, someone who knows the true history. So if Eve reaches all the way from the bottom of the sea to the top of the red line, that would mean that there could be a bubble held in place underground on top of its leaves, creating an artificial space similar to Fishman Island at the bottom that allows the Celestial Dragons to extend their lives, having to bring small bubbles of it wherever they go to not lose the air's effect. Now, there are no clues to whether it's the tree itself that could create this effect, or whether it just serves as a container. If it did have the effects of immortality, however, that would mean that Eam, just like Wapol, holds the monopoly of immortality in the world by enclosing Eve into stone under Marijoa. So, just like Dr. Hirolook's cherry blossoms could heal the hearts of the people of Drum Island, could Eve cure the actual bodies of those on Marijoa? Well, Sengoku and Tonoyasu's hair do the exact same thing as well. And as we know, cutting down trees is a quite common theme in the story.
I want to know where his correlation to Tonoyasu the Buddha comes from. I mean, I guess the whole maple thing, you know, I guess there's a connection, but what's the... I'm a little confused on the correlation that... Like, I get Sengoku's connection because his devil fruit is Buddha, but what's Yasu's connection to Buddha? Like, that's... I mean, I know he's a good person, good-hearted person, and I guess the maple part makes sense, but I don't know.
Noland cutting down the holy trees of the Shandorans to save their lives, cutting down the giant jack to defeat Enel, the literal tree of knowledge being cut down on Ohara, and Chopper's name literally coming from chopping down a tree. And so if the Straw Hats had to cut down the Eve tree to end the immortality of Emu and the Celestial Dragons, wouldn't that also fulfill the prophecy, destroying Fishman Island in the process? Wow, this is a really long theory. Let me take a quick break. Whoa. No time for breaks. I'm gonna take over for you right now. Oh, also you should subscribe. Yeah, you should make sure to get the hell out of here. Part 2. Eames' origin and history.
I wonder how he did that.
Okay, so first, the giant jack and
up.
Enel. We've already talked about how important Skypiea was as an arc in the last video. And so of course, Enel declaring himself God and being taken down by Luffy, the natural enemy of gods, makes it really easy for me to form a connection between Enel and Emu. Again, two sides of the same coin. So here, instead of Eve, we have the giant jack, and instead of Marijoa, we have the Holy Land of Gods. You get the idea. Enel is a fake god without wings, ruling over the sky people and traveling up to the moon to God's realm. So if we invert this, does this mean that Eam is a real god with wings, ruling over fake gods after coming down from the moon from God's realm? Yep, but it's not quite what you think. A likely inspiration for Eam is the story of Princess Kaguya. If you watched Naruto, you're probably already familiar with this. But if your first reaction to this was the same as mine, oh damn, now they're gonna ruin One Piece the same way as Naruto. No worries.
Bro, that was legit my word. That's what I was like, bro, please don't bring Kaguya up, bro. Like, that was word like Naruto. After Kaguya's introduction in Naruto, I was just like, bro, I didn't like that. Now, that to me, I'm not like people who are like, oh, Naruto's a horrible series because of it. But it's like, bro, that just... I would say maybe before, a little bit before Kaguya's introduction, to me, that's kind of where Naruto kind of peaked and then just kind of went downhill. When Kaguya, that was downhill, though. Kaguya was pretty much downhill. For me, at least. My opinion. I know a lot of people might get mad at me. My opinion. Still love Naruto. Still one of my favorite series. But let's be real. I did not like the introduction to Kaguya. I didn't like the aspect of Naruto reaching like the Dragon Ball, trying to be like Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
It actually makes way more sense here. Let me summarize the story as quickly as possible for you. One day, an old bamboo cutter cuts a shiny bamboo and finds a kid in the bamboo. The man and his wife raise the kid, who quickly turns into a beautiful bamboo woman. From then on out, every time the bamboo cutter cuts bamboo, he finds a gold nugget. He's now a rich bamboo cutter. The princess quickly is desired by everyone. 5 nobles come because they want a piece of this bamboo, but she doesn't want to marry any of them, and she gives them impossible tasks, so they all fail. Next comes the emperor, and he also wants to marry the bamboo girl. This time the bamboo girl is more interested, but still doesn't want to marry him. So instead they become pen pals and write lots of letters. One day, when Kaguya watches the moon, she remembers that she actually is from the moon and was sent back to Earth as A, punishment, or B, to protect her by the moon people, depending on the version. And so her pen pal, the Emperor, sends guards to protect her, but when the moon people come to take the princess back, the guards are blinded by a strange light. Kaguya now announces that she must go back, even though she loves all her friends here on Earth. She sends the Emperor a goodbye letter, as well as the elixir of immortality. Not too bad. But then one of the moon people comes and places a feathered robe on her shoulders. In that moment, she loses all her sadness and compassion and love that she had for Earth, and she returns to the city on the moon. The grieving Emperor then tries to send her a letter by sending his army to carry to the top of the highest mountain and burn it there. Which is why Mount Fuji is literally called the mountain abundant with soldiers. The smoke of the letter can still be seen there to this day, only it's of course a volcano. You already correctly guessed that Eam resembles Kaguya a lot. The 5 nobles might very well represent the Gorosei. Bamboo is also represented by Virgo in the Don Quixote Pirates. We even have the potion of immortality thrown in there. Kaguya returned to the moon, handed over the potion of immortality, and got her memories erased. So inverting that, Im came from the moon, took immortality for herself, and erased everyone else's memories. The feathered cloak, of course, also connects us to Doflamingo, who literally has no compassion for others. His birdcage might then be a metaphor for Im's control of the world, or maybe even the moon, which might be an ancient weapon used to create floods. However, as we will see, Im is not an actual citizen of the moon, as they prepared an army to fight against whoever invaded them, and given that their descendants fought with the ancient kingdom against the enemy, they most likely were Im's enemies as well. So if not one of the sky people, who then is Imu? Let's return now to the idea that the celestial dragons are actually wearing spacesuits. Those suits, as well as the hoof of the dragon, are the main two symbols that we associate with the world nobles. Now, this may sound very weird, but I'm gonna show you a fresco from a monastery in Kosovo, which is actually a World Heritage Site. In the middle here, we see Jesus, and on the top right, there is this guy here. Now, this was painted in the 14th century, and I guess it won't surprise you to find out that many have taken this to be the depiction of a spaceship by the unknown artist. Now, what interests us here, however, is whether Oda might have taken this symbol as inspiration, making Im someone who came to Earth from somewhere else. Because if you take this symbol and turn it by 90 degrees, you perfectly get the symbol of the celestial dragons. And another interesting detail I noticed as well when looking at this was the sphere with the 8 orbs surrounding it that we know from Alabasta, Wano, and Shadora. Whoa, but is Oda even into aliens? Well, let me take a look at the first volume of One Piece and... oh! So let's go down the alien route a little bit more then. I mean, there are space pirates after all. Oda also mentioned in the author's...
I need to get my collection of I need to start collecting the actual manga, like the actual physical manga. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I need to start doing that. Yeah, that's just a little off topic, but yeah, I need to do that.
Note of volume 96 that when you turn 96 on its head, you don't get 69. And the idea of turning things on its head are a pretty fundamental concept in One Piece. Now, this seems to be related to the story in the manga, but could it be that Oda is telling us to turn the literal manga on its head? Well, let's try. So, I think it doesn't take too much fantasy to see the straw hat as a flying saucer here, with the moon above it. However, what is really interesting, I think, is that the skull suddenly...
Hey. Giving those away, subscribe. You went to Jolly Roger, look at it. Flying saucer. Except it's right side up, so yeah.
also becomes a new face. The nose flipped on its head becomes a face with 2 eyes and a 3rd eye on top of it. Well, where have we seen that before? The mouth of the skull then turns into this elongated head. But that would be ridiculous. Who would have a head like...
Fukurokoju.
The symbol of the literal space pirates that we saw, as well as Fukurokujo and Wano. Imu also has this elongated shape. So could her and Fukurokujo be of the same race? The 3-Eye tribe that we now know exists thanks to Pudding's introduction. But then Fukurokujo would also need to have a 3rd eye, and he clearly doesn't. Or does he? Look at this patch of skin on his forehead. This looks very suspiciously like it could be an eye. And we actually don't know what his other eyelids look like, since conveniently he's wearing sunglasses. Also to hide the fact that he has the same ringed eyes as Imu. Why is there a mosquito? He even has this large wrinkle when he's depicted as a young man. And if Fukurokujo gets longer and longer with age, wouldn't that mean that Imu would have had a long time to get...
Bro, that would be wild. Like, what if Fukurokujo do have like a bigger part in the story? Like, let's say after Wano, right? After Wano, he actually escapes and he goes back to like Imu. Like, let's say he was an agent at Imu this whole time and he was helping like Orochi and Kaido, but like he had like a let's say he had like a different mission that nobody knew about, you know what I'm saying? And he's been doing it this whole time. That'd be wild. Like if this theory has some, you know, some validity to it, That'd be wild.
Really long with age as well, which would also connect Enel to this, who has the same Buddha-like earlobes. Now, we already know that the Three-Eyed Tribe is said to have unique abilities. Shiva, the supreme god of Hinduism, also has a third eye, and it can also be seen on many Buddha statues. And even in the West, there is the famous Eye of Providence, which represents the all-seeing eye of God. And in the world of One Piece, this third eye seems to be able to decipher the poneglyphs. Pudding is only half third eye, but when the third eye is truly awakened, does it have the ability to see anything, like clairvoyance? And speaking of clairvoyance, that would fit perfectly with Viola's ability as one of the members of the Don Quixote pirates. Now, Viola appeared to Sanji sitting on a chair, again summoning the image of
right
Imu on her
Viola.
throne. Mihawk, who also has Imu's eyes, also appears the first time sitting on a chair. And funnily enough, the same is true for Pudding.
Bro, I was literally about to bring up Mihawk. I was like, because he was talking about how Imu and he said like how Fukurokoju could have like Imu, the eyes that Imu have, and you know how we know like what we seen at least. What we seen, Imu has like the same eyes as Mihawk. So what if Mihawk has a third eye? And I already kind of had this theory that I need to work on this theory. But I've been working on this theory where Mihawk, because you know he has like the best. Like my theory is Mihawk has the best observation hockey in the series, and because you know he's based off of. I don't want to give you guys too much because you know it's a theory that's still in progress. I've been talking about, but I haven't really had a chance to actually put it together correctly. You know, I never really put together a theory like that. But anyway, like my theory is Mihawk, because he is based off of a hawk, right? A hawk, which is like an eagle, and hawks and eagles have like the best. They have the best eyesight in the whole animal kingdom. You know, as far as like how far they can see, and because there's other animals with different types of eyes that have like if you look at the manta shrimp, it has like these weird looking eyes, but like it could see like different. It could see like so many colors, like more than like every other animal. But anyway, Mihawk has like my thing is Mihawk has the best observation hockey because of his eyes, and if let's say he does have a third eye, that can also kind of like almost back that idea that his observation hockey is probably one of the highest, if not the highest, you know. And it which kind of made me think like when you go back to Marineford, right, when him and Luffy was had a little encounter, and Luffy was about to punch Mihawk, but then he was able to see into like he had like a split second to where he seen into the future, right? And he seen that his arms was going to get cut off if he would have continued with his attack. So my thing is Luffy didn't have observation hockey at that time. He didn't have observation hockey at the time, and he really didn't have like future sight hockey. Like he hardly even knew what hockey was at that point. But you know, some theories could be like, you know, maybe because the heat of the battle, he just for that second he accessed future sight hockey. But my thing is it that, or maybe Mihawk, if he is indeed a third eye guy, maybe he has the ability to put visions into somebody's mind. You know what I'm saying? Like almost grant Luffy future sight hockey just so he didn't get hurt. You know, like to me it could have been like Mihawk almost protecting Luffy, because he was like, look bro, if you do that, if you throw that punch, if you throw this attack, I'm gonna cut your arms off, and I don't want to do that, so don't throw it. So that's kind of like I don't know, you know, that's kind of me just reaching, kind of going off of this theory, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But let's continue.
Who we also meet sitting in a chair. The same is true for Hancock, who teaches us about the mark of the celestial dragons and who's able to turn people into stone. The stone is actually another symbol closely linked to Imu. In chapter 877, we see how Pedro blows himself up. Again, two sides of the
R.I.P. Pedro. He don't get enough credit.
same coin with Dr. Hirolook's death on Drum Islands. The wordplay for this chapter is banana. Banana. So what does a banana have to do with stone? You'll like this one. There is a very common type of myth in Asia called banana type myths, which, let's be real for a second, is the best name of anything ever. Now they're all a bit different depending on the region, but all these tales follow the same pattern. A god presents a stone and a banana to a person. The person chooses the banana because at least he can eat the banana. However, the changeless stone is a symbol for immortality, so if the person had chosen the stone, they would have become immortal. By choosing the banana, however, that rots fast, they choose a short and mortal life. Now, if Im represents the godly and immortal stone, who could represent the human and fast-lived banana in One Piece? Exactly.
Luffy?
Kaido. Huh? Just kidding, it's Monkey D. Dragon and Monkey D. Luffy, the two main threats to Im's rule. And now what is really interesting is that in the Japanese version of this myth, the banana...
Bro, when he said Kaido, bro, I'm like, what? What? I like Luffy, you're like Kaido. I'm like, what? It's funny.
Banana is replaced with a flower. And that brings me to probably the most interesting connection to Im-sama of them all. Nico Robin, user of the flower fruit. Robin and Imu are, you guessed it, two sides of the same coin. Imu is 1-6, while Robin is 6-1. Robin's hometown Ohara, which has disappeared from the world map, is the exact opposite of the world's center, the sacred city of Meridior. On Ohara, there is the Tree of Knowledge, while on Meridior, there is Eve, who got cast out of paradise for eating from said Tree of Knowledge. Robin's protector is Dr. Clover, who is directly connected to the Gorosei, who protect Imu. And look at chapter 237, where Robin literally uses a third eye. Robin has the flower fruit, while Imu is seen in her flower garden in Pangaea Castle. And Robin might actually also be the greatest hint at Im's backstory. She is the devil child. So reversing that, Im-sama could be seen as the child of gods. While Robin was feared and hated for her abilities, Imu might have been valued and cherished for hers. However, maybe just like Robin, people will have tried to exploit her for it anyways. Another great parallel is how Big Mom used to hate Pudding and treat her just like Robin was treated until she found out about the three-eyed powers, when she suddenly became Big Mom's favorite. But she still was exploited anyway.
Like, I just had, like, I know a lot of people probably would kind of be against the idea of, like, there being, like, Robin almost getting kidnapped by the world government again, and then there having to be another rescue arc for Robin specifically. But, like, one thing I always kind of like thought of, right, especially when we hit the New World, was like Robin, right? Like Robin's role in the overall story. I don't mean to the Straw Hats, but I just mean to the world. Her role as the rest, her role in how she affects the rest of the world, right? And my thing, I always kind of theorized or predicted that she was going to be like one of those people who everybody will come after. Like, you know, because she's the only person that can read the poneglyphs, right? So if she's the only person that can read the poneglyphs, and so many people want to find the One Piece, and especially those who know you need to be able to read the poneglyphs in order to find the One Piece, I would always think that, like, people would be after Robin. You know, people would be trying to capture Nicole Robin and making her, you know, help them find the One Piece, including maybe even the world government. Because maybe the world government wouldn't want to capture her to find the One Piece, but at least capture her to stop her from helping someone else find the One Piece. So if that's the case, and the world government do happen to get their hands on Robin again, which would which I know a lot of people like, oh, another world government Robin rescue mission. But it's like I would be okay with it personally because I would like to see maybe an interaction with Eam and Robin. You know, like Eam telling Robin secrets. You know, like Eam talking to, because Eam probably would tell her because he would be planning to kill her anyway, or somehow using her for something. So I was thinking like, what if we could see something where we get Eam and we get Robin talking to each other, and then Eam kind of like spilling secrets about the world to Robin, who her whole mission in life is to garner knowledge of the world and the history and everything. Bro, I wouldn't be against another rescue mission for Robin if we get a conversation with Eam and Robin. Or even if it's just some another big name person like Blackbeard and Robin. That'd be kind of interesting too. But I think Eam and Robin is what I really would rather see. Blackbeard and Robin don't interest me as much, because it kind of would, because Blackbeard, what we know, like Oda said, if Blackbeard wasn't a pirate, he would be an archaeologist. And what we know, archaeologists, they're kind of like historians almost. Except they go dig up bones and special and they find things like they kind of like dig up bones and find things and everything, and like discover things, like things of the past that might be like under things or in tombs and stuff. And so Blackbeard is not that different from Robin, because we know Blackbeard, he's pretty smart. So that would be an interesting thing too, Robin and Blackbeard conversation, because Blackbeard probably knows some stuff that Robin don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah.
Remember what Saul shouted to Robin through the fires of her burning home? He says Robin will not be alone forever. So Imu has probably been alone forever. As far as we know, only the Gorosei even know of her existence. A person ruling in secret from a throne that is not even supposed to exist. And actually, let's stick with Saul here for a moment and look at the symbol of the frozen giants, because his introduction to the story was very interesting to me in many ways. A giant with the will of D, Saul is a reference to the devoted Jew Saul, who one day was blinded by a heavenly light and saw a sign from Jesus, upon which he converted to Christianity and became Paul. Similar to this, Saul converted away from the celestial dragons to help the people of Ohara. An interesting detail here, in English we know him as Jaguar D. Saul, however Jaguar is not his name in Japanese, not even close. It's actually Haguaru. Haguaru, hugging the world, which makes sense to me because he's the one who tells Robin that there are also many gentle giants as well.
Ice time.
Ice time.
Now, what connects Robin and her frozen giant to Imu then? You guessed it, the giant frozen hat deep under Marijoa. Could this straw hat belong to Saul's ancestor? A good giant with the name of D and a straw hat? And what if I told you that we've already seen that in the story? Another frozen giant is
thinking
Thriller
Oris.
Bark, and he literally takes...
Cause I think Oris Jr. like Ace gave Oris Jr. a straw hat. That's what I was thinking. That's where I thought he was going to go.
on Luffy's personality when Moria puts his shadow in him. Luffy, but a giant. That's the symbol of the person who wore that giant straw hat, which is why we see Luffy smiling at us when Imu enters the room. Now, the big question, of course, is why did Imu keep it? Shouldn't the D who wore it be the natural enemy of her? Again, it's Robin that I think might give us the decisive clue here. Robin's defining character moment, of course, is this. So, what's the inversion of this for Imu? I wanna die? Actually, no. What is probably the case here is that the inversion of I want to live is actually I have to live. Imu is immortal, or more specifically, not allowed to die. While she
Yeah.
can grant the celestial dragons immortality, she herself might have gotten hers in a different way. You've probably already stumbled across the idea that Imu had the immortality surgery performed on her. Well, what if the person who did that was none other than our giant version of Luffy 800 years ago? And the reason why Imu keeps that straw hat is because it belongs to the person who saved her life. Just like Robin was saved by her giant and later by her straw hats. The title of chapter 397, where Saul saves Robin, is To Reach the Future. Not only Robin, but also Imu. And the other big clue that Imu had the immortality surgery performed on her is chapter 660. Here, once again, we have the symbol of the frozen giants on Punk Hazard. The title of this chapter is The Royal Shichibukai Trafalgar Law. This is where the symbol of the frozen giant and the Opi Opi no Mi come together. The wordplay for this chapter is Rorumu, law, room, as well as memory. Which is funny, you know, because memory is symbolized in One Piece by the falling of snow. Snow, by the way, represented by Monet, Sugar's older sister. And this will be our clue to find out what happened that caused the Void Century.
Is Monet Sugar's sister? was that confirmed? I don't remember. Let me know in the chat in the comments. Is Monet Sugar's sister? I don't remember that. I gotta look that up. I didn't know that.
A period between 800 and 900 years ago that cannot be told about, that has been erased from memory, and where any research is forbidden by the penalty of death. This is exactly what happened to Ohara after finding out that a huge kingdom was destroyed during these 100 years. The motive here is most likely the French 100-year war. Remember from the start of this video, like 10 hours ago? It was a civil war fought by the French lords around 1400, and it was a war of territorial disputes. The French Revolution broke out 400 years later, and it is referenced a lot in One Piece, as I explained in my law video. But how exactly do you erase 100 years of history from the world without killing every single person? This is how Imu did it. Okay, finally we can talk about Usopp and his Snow Queen. Luffy Snowman, by the way, with a cape, 3 eyes, and a long head. In this episode, Snowfall appears for the first time. When the ship suddenly changes directions, Luffy asks Nami if she forgot something. And after all the chaos is over, Zoro wakes up not remembering a thing of what has happened. Of course, we have all the snowfall on Drum Island, which represents Imu as well as Hirolook's memories. Hirolook's last words being... Then we have ash falling like snow in memory of the Burning Mary. We have another winter island with Punk Hazard, an island forgotten by the world and filled with the memories of Vegapunk. And we have of course Ringo region in Wano, which is also filled with memories for Zoro and Hiyori. Notice how the snowfall also goes hand in hand with destruction. The snowman, Dr. Hirolook, the Mary, the island of Punk Hazard, Wano. The most interesting case of snow, however, is probably during Whole Cake Islands. According to Uderon, chapter 900 might represent 900 years ago and the start of the Void Century. Cannonballs falling like snow. Could Big Mom's musical tell the story of the destruction of the ancient kingdom on Jaya? Chapter 901. Even if you die, don't die represents the swallowing of Laugh Tale by a whale and its escape. Basically how Laugh Tale probably vanished from Jaya. You know, like the little island inside Laboon that Crocus lives on. Then, chapter 902, End Roll, is the end of the war and the erasure of memories. The wordplay here is for eternity. In it, we see Pudding falling in love with Sanji and kissing him, but not having the courage to let him know. So she cut out his memories using her powers. Pudding, also a member of the Three-Eyed Tribe, of course representing Imu here, and how she took away the world's memories to create the Void Century. And will you look at this? Coincidentally, it is snowing cotton candy in this episode. Chapter 903 is Luffy becoming an Emperor of the Sea being Umi in Japanese. Luffy, the Emperor of Umi and enemy of the gods, versus the godly Emperor Imu. Now, the image of the Snow Queen is most likely related to the story of Hans Christian Andersen, which actually has surprisingly little to do with the Disney version.
Let it go.
Basically, there is an evil troll that creates a distorting mirror. A piece of that mirror gets stuck into the heart of a boy, so his personality changes drastically and he is taken away by the Snow Queen. His friend, Gerda, sets out to find the boy and heals his distorted heart with her love and tears, all taking place under the beautiful northern lights. The important things to take away from the story that clearly inspired Oda are snow, memory, the queen, light, and the mirror. And in
So now
chapter
we got
902,
Kizaru.
which represents the Erasure of Memories, not only did Big Mom, the queen, putting the memories, and snow appear, but also Brule, the mirror. Also, we have Dr. Kureha again as the Snow Queen in her icy castle. And there even appears a talking reindeer in that story as well.
この野郎がふざけんなよ。
Another surprising character connected to mirrors, light, and memories is Jungo, who is on the cover of chapter 145, where Hirolook says that people only die when they're forgotten and blowing himself up. There is a literal mirror ball and light. And Django first appears way back in Syrup Village in chapter 25, which is
And is you
titled
okay?
800 Lies,
And
for
is you
no
okay?
apparent reason whatsoever.
ワン、ツー、ジャンゴ
In other words, I believe that the way that Imsama and the other celestial dragons manipulated memories and created the 100-year gap 800 years ago was by covering the sky of the entire world in white, then emitting a strong light and using the reflection of that light to manipulate people's memories. Just as the strong light in the story of Princess Kaguya, after which she lost her memories. We can even see that represented at Marineford.
The infinite Tsukiyomi from Naruto. That's basically what Kaguya was doing with the tree. What was it? The tree of, I forget what it is, but it's like the 10-tailed tree. When you bring all the tail beasts together, you get that tree, and then it's like the 10 tails or whatever. And yeah, so kind of like Naruto, Kaguya. It makes sense. It's interesting though.
As well. Sengoku the Buddha, Aokiji the snow, Kizaru the light, and Akainu the red line. Now the wordplay for the Japanese phrase for the Void Century is 989. So looking at 989, what might represent the Void Century here? The answer is Frankie, or to be more precise, his radical beam. Unlike the times we've seen it before, it explicitly takes the shape of a snowflake here. And the first time light in general was referenced in a title was in chapter 850, where we see Smoker and a snake in the snow. And coincidentally, it's also the same chapter that Pudding reveals her third eye and true intentions for the first time. Imu used snow and light and some unknown power to erase the memory of the world, and thus created the Void Century, now only remembered in the inscription of the poneglyphs. Part 3. Imu's Devil Fruit. Now, the last riddle to solve is the question, what makes Imu so powerful that she can rule the entire world, next to her three-eyed powers? Does she have a devil fruit? Yes. Yes, she does. And what an awesome devil fruit it is as well. In fact, it does have something to do with water.
I'm mad he said that. I wanted to say what I think it could be before he goes on. I'm thinking, I was thinking water, but he kind of said it has to do with water. So I'm thinking maybe like something with weather. Like it could be like a full weather, like you could manipulate the weather, water. I don't know. A lot of people say dragon might have like a weather devil fruit, but I think if somebody was going to have a weather devil fruit, it might be Imu. Or if dragon does have a weather devil fruit, like if he does, then Emu might have like the water devil fruit, and then it's like if you got the water devil fruit, it could possibly make you immune to water. You know what I'm saying? So that weakness that everybody else have, you don't get that if you got a water devil fruit, which would be dope. Which will make that probably one of the most OP devil fruits there, because you could be in the water and still have you could still use your devil fruit, while like the other devil fruit character you're fighting in the water is drowning. Like they drowning, you still alive, but that'd be interesting. But I'll let him go on what he think it is.
but it's not what you think it is.
Yeah,
it's
see.
actually a mythical zone devil fruit. The initial hint we get for this is actually the Alabasta saga. It's the parallel arc to Dressrosa, and so it was no big surprise to me that it also had something to do with this. The saga is of course about Crocodile trying to steal the country and acquire the ancient weapon Pluton by depriving the entire country of its water supply. The purpose of the Baroque Works organization is to realize an ideal world, and just like no one knows about Emu, no one knows the real identity of Mr. Zero, aka Crocodile. Spoiler alert. Crocodile's weakness is water, so if we invert this, it makes water Eames' strength. Chapter 212, when natural rain finally falls again on Alabasta, also has this octopus on its cover, sitting on a chair with 3 eyes open. The same pose as Nami on the cover of volume 11. Nami, who incidentally was called a witch in the Arlong Park arc, who controls the weather, just like Eam might be able to control the weather as well. However, the idea of controlling water is not only limited to Alabasta. Fishman Island, the opposite of Marijoa, has the martial art Fishman Karate that allows the control of water, currents, and even moisture in the air. So Emu's ability being very powerful,
And the
it's
water in
likely
their
that
body.
she's able to control any form of water, including that in the air or even in the body of living things, perhaps making it possible for her to grant immortality. As you know, there are weaker and stronger versions of certain devil fruits out there. Eames fruit then would be the most powerful version of Monet's snow fruit and even Aokiji's ice fruit. Because if you can control the moisture in the air, you can also freeze things. And you can of course also create storms and other weather patterns. The most powerful fruit in the world. The concepts of water and rain are closely tied to her character. Emu in reverse means Umi. Eames number 16 is also the wordplay for the word rain. Amen. The wordplay for water, Mizu, is chapter 32. And in chapter 32 we see Momo's dragon on the cover, and the title is Great Disaster. And since Ame coincidentally also means candy in Japanese, we have the link again to sugar and the entire Whole Cake Island plot. Rain, similar to snow, almost always has a destructive symbolism in One Piece. Diamante rains thorns and iron. Also there is Doflamingo's white waves. We have Shiryu of the rain, the bombardment of Enies Lobby being compared to rain, and of course our all favorite evening shower Kanjuro.
Hey, shout out to Condro, the MVP of Wano. Man, that's probably his. I'm telling you, bro. Like I was, like during the whole arc in Wano, I've been saying like, bro, I'm like the story that I was always the most intrigued by in Wano that nobody hardly ever talked about. Well, I seen like maybe 1 or 2 people really talk about it, but like the traitor, like who was the traitor? You know, because we knew like there was so many things we knew going into like, oh, how did Jack know? How did Jack know that Razo was at on Zoe? You know what I'm saying? How did they know how to get to Zoe? How did Jack know how to get to Zoe? How did you know, like it was so many things, it was so many questions that were unanswered, so many mystery, and it's like somebody has to be a traitor. And I feel as though like not enough. Like I was having discussions with people about it, and they was kind of blowing it off. I guess they didn't really, you know, think much about it. They didn't really consider it. But I was like, bro, there's a traitor among them. But and I didn't even consider Conjuro at one point. But there was like a theorist that predicted Conjuro before it was released, and he had it on the money. He had it on the money. Shout out to him. If somebody knows who it is, please let me know. But yeah, I'm glad. Conjuro probably made the most sense, honestly. Like given his ability, given all that stuff, like some of the evidence against him. Cause like before I thought he was weak. Cause like he was, every time he fought, he didn't really do much. But he did that because it just. He was a traitor, so it was like he wasn't trying to help them. He was actively going against what the protagonists were doing, so he was never giving it his all. And then we get that reveal, and we see that he's actually pretty strong, and he could use his devil fruit pretty well. But yeah.
There are also endless chapters that have various wordplays relating to Emu that have to do with water. No worries, I'm not gonna bore you with all of them now. The real question I want to know about is, what is the corresponding chapter to Emu herself? Probably chapter 16, which is a chapter about Buggy's crew? Oh damn. Maybe the wordplays actually don't work at all after all. Only that in the story we of course don't talk about Emu, but Emu-sama. And Emu-sama is 163. And chapter 163 has it all. A big full moon in clear sight, Luffy wanting water, Vivi the queen hiding herself and her forehead, Cobra stating that the weather is God's work, and of course Arubana, which has Hana, flower in it as well. The second chapter that fits is 56, where we first hear about the All Blue and that features the notorious Panda Man. Oda's backstory for Panda Man is that he is a demon superhero who resolved to become strong because when he told everyone that he saw Princess Kaguya, they didn't believe him. Rings a bell, right? And for chapter 563, we have Chopper eating cotton candy with some birds. Cotton candy in Japanese being wataame. Rain again. And as you can see, we have gone full circle back to Chopper, and the birds are actually important as well. Notice how many of the characters that embody Emu have a bird theme. Robin, Monet, the snowbird on Drum Island that was linked to Marijaw, Hawkeye, Doflamingo. You get the idea. So we have the symbol of the bird, of water, and of the third eye. And there is one mythological creature that unites all of these features. It is associated with eternal youth, femininity, Buddhism, the third-eyed Hinduism, water manipulation, has wings, dances like the dance powder, and it's often compared to gods or angels. Just like Chopper has a human model devil fruit and Sengoku has one, Emu has the human fruit model Apsis, the celestial water nymph. If you want to fully understand how this crazy theory came together, you have to watch my interview with the theory master Uderon himself right here. Thank you very much.
Alright, that's what we got. Okay, so yeah, it was a lot of information thrown. It's hard to really kind of summarize everything. It was so much information thrown, but I think the basis, a lot of basis is that Eam is, I guess, kind of based off Kaguya from the fiction. I mean, I hope Eam's name isn't Kaguya, just for the sake of it. Just gonna seem like it's copying Naruto. And that just wouldn't look good for One Piece and Oda and everything. But let me turn this light on. But yeah, so like, but like for the devil fruit, like it being like a water nymph or whatever that controls water, and like that would be pretty dope in my eyes. Like that would be pretty dope to have a devil fruit user that can actually swim. Bro, like that would be ridiculously broken. That would be broken because the water weakness is like the one thing that kind of brings somewhat of a balance to One Piece characters to make them not too powerful. That and on top in the sea stone, basically, what is it? Limitation. You know, like it's if they got sea stone cuffs on or something. But sea stone only really copies, you know, like the effects that water have, and not just any water, because a lot of people get the whole concept of how water affects devil fruit. It's not water, it's not sea water or just water in general that affects a devil fruit user. It's still water, you know what I'm saying? It's like a pool of water that's not running, like a river or rain. Well, a river, because if the character is immersed enough, if the water is covering their body, it affects them. You know, like when Luffy is sitting in the bathtub, or when we see like devil fruit users sitting in like bathtubs, like we seen Robin, we seen Luffy, we seen I think Chopper, Aokiji, all of these guys using like baths. You know, we seen all them taking baths, and they usually look pretty weak. Like they're relaxed, but at the same time they're kind of weak. Like, so it's not seawater. It's just how much of their body is immersed in a body of water, pretty much. And if we have a character who could pretty much just swim, use water freely, and that limitation doesn't affect them, bro, that would be crazy broken, And plus, just having the ability to control water is pretty broken in itself. And he said it would be a zone fruit and not like a logia, which I could see that being, I guess, more helpful and more broken because, again, Aokiji, he has ice, right? Monet has snow, which is kind of like ice, but it's snow. And I guess Smoker is, because he has like smoke, but that's not steam. So I guess, can't really compare steam and smoke. Steam is kind of smoke, but smoke isn't always steam. But yeah, just for like a zone devil fruit user who has like the ability, or Permecia devil fruit that has the ability to manipulate water, make it, like he freeze you, could turn it into steam, could turn it into or could just control like liquid water. Like that'd be ridiculously broken. And but yeah, it's a pretty interesting theory. And I kind of like the last theory video he did better, because to me that just seems, I don't know. The evidence for the last theory, I think, were a lot more concrete and solid. And this one to me was a little more convoluted, like this, because it was just so many things. Like he brought up Robin, he brought up Nami, he brought up Doflamingo, he brought up it was just so many. It was a lot of information. It was real convoluted. I feel as though his last theory. Again, I did a reaction live stream to that one as well, so go check that out. It was the best theory ever. It was something like that. The best One Piece theory ever you'll ever watch, or something like that. That one was a little easier to follow, so I like that one better. This one was a little more, just a lot of information, real convoluted. But yeah. Again, I'm trying to think what else. Emu being the third eye. Emu having a third eye. I can see that. I can see that. And he brought up Mihawk, right? So I'm thinking, like, what if Mihawk has a third eye under his hat? Like, I don't know if we ever seen Mihawk without his hat. So yeah, we did, but there wasn't no third eye. I think we seen when Zoro was training with Mihawk at his castle. We see Mihawk kind of reading newspaper and drinking. Yeah, it doesn't seem that he has a third eye. But again, he brought up Fukurokoju, and he brought up how it looked like Fukurokoju might have a third eye. So, I mean, it's possible Mihawk could have one, and it just don't look like it, and like it's just hidden well. And if so, like what? How would that change Mihawk as a character if he is a part of the Third Eye clan? I honestly, it would help my theory on Mihawk, because I personally always say, like, my theory, which I'm gonna flesh it out a lot more, is a lot with Mihawk's eyes. They're like that because he like awakened. Either he awakened, or maybe he comes from like a clan who has those eyes, and those eyes give you more of a awakened version of observation haki that you can only achieve by awakening those eyes. And it would make sense. Again, it would make sense because Mihawk is based off of, like, we know that a lot of characters in One Piece are based off animals, especially the Shichibukai. And Mihawk, his animal is a hawk, right? And hawks belong to like the eagle family, I think. And they have the best vision in the animal kingdom. Like, they could pretty much see from, far distances. They could see a mouse running on the ground from like a very far distance. So you look at that, like, bird's vision, right? You look at vision, and observation hockey is almost like a hockey that's based off of vision, you know. So that's kind of my theory on a piece of my theory on Mihawk, because I need to really sit down and actually finish that theory I have for Mihawk, which I would do a video. I don't know if I'm gonna do a stream on that one. I might do a video, just a normal video, because that might be tough to talk about on like a live stream. And yeah, so I mean it was a lot of information on that. So you guys, you know, if you know, if you watch the video, if you go back and watch the whole video yourself, or you watch this video, let me know what you guys think of the theory that was placed. You know, it's hard because we don't have a lot of information on Emu, so I don't really know how to dispute that theory, but I don't really know how to support it because we have very little information. We only seen Emu like maybe 2-3 times possibly. So yeah, that's a tough one. You know, it was a lot of information in this theory video that we just watched. But yeah, anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, whether it's the theory that Ohara came up with, or I guess my response to Ohara's theory. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Anyway, again, make sure you give your boy a like, show some support. You know, hit that subscribe button. I will be doing the giveaway. Once I hit 50 subs, I will be doing a giveaway of that One Piece Jolly Rogers for 2 people. 2 people. That one's mine. I'm not giving that one away. But I will be giving 1 to 2 people. But anyway, yeah. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out the One Piece Discord link in the Facebook One Piece group. Everything will be in the description box. So just you know, if you want to follow my Twitter, my Instagram, my Discord, my whatever, check in the links will be in the Discord. Anyway, I'm out of here. Hope y'all have a good day. Oh yeah, another thing I want to say, I should have said this in the beginning. I won't be doing my beat video tomorrow, my beat stream. I will be traveling to Ohio again for work, and so the One Piece chapter discussion I will be doing on Sunday. I'm gonna try to do like I should be taking my laptop there, so the stream might be looking a little different than this. It might be a little more basic, you know. So yeah, so just forgive me for that, but I'll be going for about 2 weeks. So y'all not gonna get this whole setup I got here for the next 2 weeks. But I will be trying to drop. I will try to drop videos when I can while I'm up in Ohio. So yeah, you know, catch me on Sunday for that One Piece chapter discussion. Hopefully I can do that. I'm definitely try to make that. If I can't do it Sunday, I'll do it Monday. I'll try to make it on Monday. So yeah. Anyway, y'all have a good Thursday. Y'all have a good weekend coming up, because I won't be putting out any content until maybe Sunday or Monday. But yeah, y'all have a good weekend. I'm out. Peace. Ha.